Okay, welcome back, everybody. So we're here again with Bankless DAO demos, brought to you by Fight Club, the investment DAO of Bankless DAO. Here now we have Rachel from Opolis. Opolis is a member-owned employment co-op, Fiat and Crypto Payroll, group healthcare, tax compliance, much, much more. It's for freelancers, it's for DAO workers and indie nomads. So all you digital nomads out there, especially if you're living in the States or in Canada, or if you're a United States citizen or resident, definitely need to be checking this out. This is how you become tax compliant and able to get yourself health benefits and all the other benefits that you might find in a corporate setting, but without having to work for the corporate rat race. So just a quick reminder to let everybody know that Bankless DAO brings you these demos on just a basic knowledge, communal knowledge basis. This is not investment advice, not financial advice, not tax advice. We're just trying to show you the amazing tools that are out there that can help you go self-sovereign and custody your own funds and take charge of your own future. So without further ado, I would love to welcome Rachel to the stage. Hey, Rachel, how you doing?
Hello, NF Thinkers. Thank you so much for having me today. I just want to express my gratitude for the Bankless DAO community. We're a proud partner of Bankless DAO and Bankless, and super excited as always to come up here and educate the community on Opolis. So yeah, without further ado, I'll jump into the presentation we have prepared today. And just a heads up, my colleague Toad is up on the space here and might be speaking here and there. So yeah, we'll get started. So
Great.
Most of you know, Opolis is a member-owned digital employment cooperative. So what does this mean? It means that we are celebrating your independence while giving you partial ownership into this Colorado LCA. So we have a Colorado cooperative where our members become partial owners. And specifically, the employer services we're offering are things like payroll, employment benefits, and membership perks, which I'll go into in this presentation. So for our payroll, we offer semi-monthly payroll processing. We also have direct deposit available to our Employment Commons members. And something really attractive about our payroll is that it's actually crypto friendly. So you can opt to receive a portion of your paycheck in cryptocurrency. We offer customizable PTO and holiday policies. And you also earn rewards every time you process payroll, which is a huge plus for Opolis. So I mentioned how members become partial owners. And those of you who are members of Opolis here, which some of you are, you know about our work reward tokens. So I'll get into that later in the presentation. So compliance. Basically, we ensure that each individual member is compliant with US and Canadian labor laws in the jurisdictions where we're available. So like Anna Thinker mentioned, we're available in the United States and certain provinces in Canada. And we really want to make sure we're compliant with US labor laws. And in the crypto space, a lot of people are earning in a vertical that's been traditionally non-compliant. So what we do is we help the individual by calculating what they owe on a federal and state level and ensuring they're compliant with their taxes. And a huge plus for Opolis is that we give each individual Employment Commons members a W-2. So those of you who work independently in this space, I can attest to the value of having a W-2 and having semi-monthly pay stubs to show that you're earning legally and have on the books employment. Anything that I missed here, Toad?
You know, I like to put it in context, kind of just like how my experience works, you know? Like I'm a DAOist, I'm out here participating in DAOs, I'm earning tokens, and I'm earning those tokens inside of a wallet that my corporation owns. I set up an LLC S Corp. My CPA advised that, it works well with the Opolis program. It's actually required for our program. But basically, on the first and the third Tuesday of the month, I go and deposit about 2,700 USDC into a smart contract. I can do that on Matic or Ethereum. And then that Friday, after I do that on Tuesday, I get deposited to my bank account about $2,000 worth of dollars. And it looks like I work for this corporation that Rachel's talking about, this Colorado cooperative. And that way, instead of like just having tokens in my MetaMask, like we're talking about W-2 and payroll and verifiable income, but that's the context of that. It goes from it just being tokens in my MetaMask to the taxes are taken care of, the insurance is taken care of, and it looks like I work for a big tech company instead of just being an internet degenerate. But yeah, good information, Rachel.
Absolutely. So like he was saying, we also offer employer of record. So that's really valuable to people who are earning in the space. Like Toad was saying, he works on multiple DAOs, and we allow that through giving portable benefits. So you don't need to be tied to a singular entity for things like your medical, dental, vision, 401k. Those travel with you. And what you do in your member dashboard is just update the annual amount you're making. Now, I'm going to actually switch back to the compliance side for a minute, because there is some qualifying factors here. Because we are more about compliance and want to make sure we're compliant with labor laws, we need to make sure each individual joining Opolis is making the minimum annual salary, basically the minimum wage on an annual level in your jurisdiction. So that's something that we qualify on an individual basis. Each state is going to vary. It varies state to state. So that's something that we would schedule a call with our membership success team and dive deeper into seeing if you qualify. Some things that disqualify you from Opolis would be being already a W-2 worker, because this is a platform for independents by independents. It's for individuals who are like digital nomads and independent solo entrepreneurs. It's not built for people who are already employed by a W-2 company. So basically, the two main qualifying factors are earning the minimum annual salary and being in the proper jurisdiction to be a member of Opolis.
I'll just say, like, just for like clarification, like, if you were, say, like working at Tesla and earning a W-2 wage, but also making $1 million a year doing trading, you could still employ yourself at Opolis, even if you did have a W-2 at Tesla. It's just that you have to be paying yourself like that minimum state salary requirement. The biggest reason we require a salary minimum and not an hourly minimum is because it gives us really good negotiating power when we're getting the group insurance benefits. So it's kind of like, full-time freelancers using this barrier of minimum salary requirement, which is usually like minimum 50K. Some states it's 40K. It gets out to like 70-ish K in like New York and California.
Yeah.
But you got to be doing that to be like full-time. And the main reason is because it's just kind of like the barrier to entry we're using to make sure that the insurance benefits are the best they can possibly be. So just context, I think, is worth it.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback off that now, diving into some of the member benefits. So I know some people here on the call can attest to being an Opolis member and having these benefits available to them. I know for me, it's been a huge help, and I've actually saved quite a bit over being, for me, on the California State Exchange. I found that the benefits cover my needs more, and they're more wellness focused. So some of the things we offer are health, dental, vision, and like I said, portable benefits, insurance that travels with you. You don't need to be tied to a singular entity. Like I've heard them referred to as the golden handcuffs. Like you've heard of people staying in jobs that they're disengaged with just for the benefits. We believe in breaking that mold and giving people access to these kind of benefits while doing work that they love independently. And we also offer solo, spouse, children, and family options as well. So here's examples of some of the packages that we've used in the past. We have gold PPO, silver HSA. We also offer FSA as well, but our co-founder has said in the past, the HSA is the one that rolls over year after year, where the FSA is the one that does not roll over. So I always say HSA all the way, personally. Any other comment? We have Toad on here who used to work in the insurance industry. So any other comments here, Toad?
Yeah, I mean, it's a full employee benefits package. It's pretty exciting. What you're saying about HSA and FSA, Yeah, the thing about Opolis is that there's those options, you know. For example, if you do the FSA, you can access dependent care FSA, where you can have any, say, like, you know, child care costs. If you're paying for daycare, you could have that go through without taxes being applied to it. For some families, that could be, you know, a lot of savings. Um, so like Opolis is all about community and community services. We're just going to be getting all of the things that are normally gate kept inside of an employer place of work and just making them available. And then it's like, you do you. And it's also kind of like interesting. I've been really digging into like just how good the Opolis package is. This past week, I helped a friend of mine do some due diligence. He's got 3 freelancers who are working together inside of a corporation. They're, you know, 1099ing themselves inside of a startup essentially. And the question was like, is the Opolis plan better, or is it better to get our own group healthcare plan for our own company? And we went out and we quoted it. Like, I actually went and contacted an old broker friend of mine I used to work with for getting rates like this. And I mean, the cheapest premiums that they were getting back were like $1,800 a month. And on the Opolis plan, there's literally a plan that's $334. Like, per person, it was just $1,500 cheaper on medical. And it's just hard to beat, like, being part of a cooperative, right? Like, there's 500 people using Opolis, so you can instantly just choose to participate in all of that group buying power. You know, it's the power of DAOs. It's the power of Web3, my friends, to the moon.
Yeah,
Get
I think
excited.
Yeah.
just to add on to that, I think one of the, because as a preface here, along with Jarrett James, I interviewed John Pollard, the founder of Opolis, about 6 months ago, and you know, one of the things he was touching on was it's so early right now for Opolis. You mentioned you've got the power of 500. Well, what happens when you have the power of 5,000 or the power of 5 million? I think the benefits through that group power are just going to be exponentially better.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. So we are actually on track. Once we hit 1,000 members, it's on our roadmap for us to transition into a DAO. So when we hit 5,000 members, it's just going to be really exciting to see the level of decentralization that we'll have at that point, and the community making decisions on things like what plans and group coverage we'll offer for our Employment Commons members. So I'm really excited to see what it looks like when we hit 5,000 members. And something that's really big, like I mentioned earlier, is that every member is also an owner. And this ties into our tokenomics work token structure. So is that we offer a unit of patronage for our members. And this actually gives you more skin in the game as we transition into a DAO. So for those of you listening that are familiar with DAOs and tokenomics, this will basically be how people facilitate governance and voting and things like that. So when we hit 5,000 members, I think the work tokens are going to be such a huge part of the Opolis economy.
Yeah, work
Any
tokens.
other comments there, Toad?
Yeah, I'm super stoked on work tokens. I only get more stoked on work tokens. I actually go and buy work tokens every single time that Opolis pays my invoice as a sole prop, you know, or as a LLC. Every time I get stable tokens, I go and buy a few work tokens because I'm like, I just want more of these. The work token is the ownership token of the Opolis' Employment Commons LCA, and it has the right to vote on dividend and revenue sharing. So as we've highlighted here, you know, right now there's the power of 500 people paying payroll on Opolis. They're all paying a 1% fee, and this 1% fee is powering, like, you know, people like myself, like being here and the product being developed, right? So that's how that works. But you can see how, like, you don't need a lot of people to scale the thing, right? Like when you're running payroll and benefits, it's pretty much like you're running payroll and benefits, you're dealing with spreadsheets, and those spreadsheets could be any size. You don't need more people to have a bigger spreadsheet, right? So the model is built to really be super cost effective. And we're going to continue charging a 1% fee, but that's going to start to go to the people who hold the work token. You earn the work token by running your payroll on Opolis. So just like with, people who were, say, early to GMX, who got a lot of really high staking multiplier points, like people who are early to Opolis, they're going to have a ton of work tokens. And that's going to be like a disproportional, advantage when you're having access to, say, tens of millions of people being on the Opolis platform. There's 80 million freelancers in the US. So like the addressable market is huge. I don't mean to like shill a work token. My bad. Absolutely. I hold work tokens, not financial advice. Incentivized to talk about this, but it's definitely like the work token is something that I see as like a big step forward in what we call the stakeholder capitalism movement, where people participate in products and they earn ownership in those products and dividends, from them. Yeah, excited about work tokens, happy to have them, never selling, hodl to the moon.
So a couple things I just want to comment on here, and I know this is also being broadcasted on YouTube. So I want to share a couple links. NF Thinker, one I'll share. This is just nerd stuff, by the way, for people that want to dive deeper into this. We'll go ahead and share the off-white paper that's at opolis.co. We'll go ahead and share the token distribution paper as well, that if people are curious about how our distributions are vested over time, you can dive into that there. And then also our benefits packages that Toad was referencing. I'd like to share an updated version of that with the community. So I'll be gathering those links and sharing them with you, NF Thinker. And back to what Toad was saying, I really think Opolis has such a huge product market fit. Like as far as working in the Web3 space, I've never seen something that's so needed, right? For people who are working, like employment is something that affects us all. Earning is something that affects us all. And I really think in Web3, if we want to legitimize employment in the space, that we really need to make a push towards doing things right. So I think there's just a huge product market fit, and it goes beyond just Web3. So Opolis is available to anyone who's an independent worker, anyone who's making the minimum annual salary and is open to setting up their own LLC. You just can't already be a W-2 worker. And I think the fee is also really reasonable. 1% admin fee is just a super gracious fee. So yeah, anything else you want to add there, Toad?
Well, you're just talking about the fee. I mean, like lots of products akin to this are like, you can join this union and get similar widgets, but you don't own anything and you pay 15%. Or you're a part of this, like temporary working thing and they lease you to Pinterest, but they take 40%. So yeah, there's a lot of egregious fees out there.
Absolutely.
All of our pricing is ridiculously competitive and you own the protocol when you use it. So I like to think of it as a public good. There's definitely centralization to get it up and off of the ground. I've been in the insurance industry for the past decade, and I'm just blown away by what the founders at Opolis have built. The founder, John Poller and Eddie Pastore, they've absolutely murdered the game. They've set up. Yeah, I mean, it's a full-blown benefits package, It's literally like if you got hired at a Silicon Valley tech company. I mean, there is an employee assistance program, There's disability insurance that if you were disabled, you would not be paid for 1 week, and then you could be paid until you're retired. Like freelancers don't often carry those safety nets. It's one of the scariest things about self-employing is like, you've no access to disability insurance, you're not paying into unemployment, you don't have workers' compensation. So you carry a lot of financial risk,
Absolutely. And you're basically on the don't get sick plan.
The more you sell this to me, the more I get FOMO living over here in the UK and not being able to access it.
Well, so something I also wanted to mention, just like if you're not in the place right now to join Opolis, there are other ways to get involved. So, for instance, actually, one of our members who's on the call today wasn't able to join for some time and actually joined as an ambassador first. So we actually have a growing team of ambassadors, and Toad is helping with the training here. Basically, these are people who host either in-person events or Twitter spaces or do writing online. And we've been really working to build the framework for that, to just offer more inclusivity for individuals who aren't ready yet to become a member, but want to tap into our lucrative referral system, which is another thing I didn't really get into, but we offer our partners rewards on referrals. We also offer our ambassadors rewards on our referrals. And these are going to be around $100 per qualified lead and an additional $200 per person that signs up with 1,000 work tokens. So if you're looking for a way to stack up work tokens and earn on your referrals, definitely look into our ambassador program. I'll share the link with NF Thinker. And yeah, I'm always
something that's lacking in Web3. But something I didn't quite understand is what would I have to do as a user to join? Like, do I just sign up, and then if I go to a DAO, what do I show them? Or does it come from the DAO side? And do I join a DAO and then do the SP? Yeah.
Go ahead, Toad.
Yeah. Skyfox, are you in the US or Canada?
I used to be, but I'm not anymore. Which is actually why I kind of asked for. My question there is, for Americans and non-Americans.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, if you're joining to be a traditional Opolis Employment Commons member, that's our main thing, What you do is, if you're earning in crypto, you basically just set up a business wallet, which is very easy to do, right? You just declare a wallet to be owned by your business. I have a MetaMask wallet that is owned by Toad's Consulting, literally. And you need a business now to own that wallet. So if you don't already have an LLC, you need to set up an LLC. One legal thing about legally employing somebody is you have to be a corporation to legally employ somebody. So that means your LLC must designate itself to be an S Corp or a C Corp. That is typically the hardest part for most folks, is they don't come with that already set up, and they need to get that service done. If you need to get that service done, we have a partnership to get that taken care of for $299. It gets a Wyoming LLC set up. We use Wyoming because it's super crypto friendly in Wyoming. And a lot of our people coming in are earning in crypto. So now what you have is a tax entity that is your corporation, and it has an EIN number, which is just like your business's social security number. So you have a social security number now, you have an EIN number now, and you have wallet addresses that belong to both of them. You have bank accounts that belong to both of them. And now that you have kind of this relationship where you have your business and yourself, you essentially earn all of your money inside of your business. You want to have invoices for work done sent to your business wallet. You want to take profits with your business wallet, so that you can count it as ordinary income when you talk to your CPA at the end of the year. And then now that your business has ordinary income, you need to send it through to a personal bank account, but that is a hassle. So Opolis acts as a bridge, as an off-ramp from being on-chain crypto, value, being sent through a smart contract and then landing in your bank account, 3 days later as fiat cash. To meet FSLA compliance, we have to send you minimally your base pay in crypto, just for compliance reasons, for employment law. But anything above that, we could pay to you in crypto. So if you wanted to have, say, crypto earned inside of a wallet that you knew all taxes had been paid on, you could have us send, to your personal wallet. To do all of those things, you just got to go to opolis.co and click on Become a Member. Rachel, I think, probably has a link somewhere around here.
Yep. I'm also screen sharing too, so I'll just bring up our website. So you go to opolis.co and you click here, become a member. And like Toad was saying, what's up?
Well, I just wanted to check in on Skyfox. I kind of like, man, I rambled for a minute. I talked about like entities, relationships, and EINs, and does that kind of click?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it's really not up to the DAO. It's just up to me, the individual, to set myself up, and Opolis streamlines all of that, and I get all those nice benefits on top of that.
That's it. Yep. You set yourself up a corporation, and then it's done with a traditional leasing agreement where you are employed by the employment commons, and we're leasing you to your own corporation to do the work that you normally do. And to pay you a salary at the employment commons, we invoice your company who is using you as our employee via this lease. Yeah. That is how the sausage is made, sir.
It makes all makes sense. All makes sense.
So I'm just go ahead and share this link today for just for the DAO community. So this is where to become a member. And like I mentioned, today I'm paying out people in Matic who fill out the lead qualification form. So this is the more the simpler way to go through the Opolis website. But if you're looking to earn in some Matic, I can share my own personal referral link for that.
Let's go. Yeah, it's a super simple onboarding process. Like if you already have a corporation set up, like if you have your EIN number already, you could do it like start to finish in like 45 minutes, 45 minutes. If you don't have your entity already set up, you're going to need to fill out the form. You can get your entity set up anywhere, talk to your CPA. Depending on what profession you're in, you may be required to incorporate in your state. It might be okay to use our service to go and get the Wyoming corporation done quickly. Probably a good option if you're earning in crypto, but consult a CPA. But yeah, if you were to say like go start to finish on the Opolis bit, you would check in, you would pay $300 to get your corporation set up. We don't make money on that. We just negotiated this deal to get this thing done. Sometimes that process gets delayed at the IRS, and this is where 10% of the time someone will be delayed for like a week or two. But typically speaking, we get back an EIN number within like 3 to 5 days. And then after that 3 to 5 day period has passed, we're able to go on and do the 45-minute or so onboarding. If anyone is, kind of looking about how that would work, that's true if you're using crypto for payment or if you're using traditional fiat, on-ramps, like if you're trying to set it up with your bank account. If you wanted to onboard your mother who's a hairdresser or something. It's a great way to green pill people. They come around, they start employing themselves, they start getting access to better benefits, and then they start earning these work tokens. And they're like, what are these work tokens? Sorry, guys, I'm really excited about this,
I can tell you're excited about work tokens, but for good cause, it makes sense. It's equity in a growing ecosystem. Yeah.
And it really gives ownership too of your employment. Like traditionally we've seen these hierarchical organizational structures that really extract values from individuals or value from individuals rather. But I really see Opolis as adding value and like we say, democratizing employment and empowering individuals to be self-sovereign through this model.
And we are all about self-sovereignty here. And Jairus, I see you have come up on stage. Did you have anything you'd like to add? Obviously, you are an Opolis ambassador now, so why don't you share your experience with us?
Before sharing my experience, it was a question that I wanted to ask, something I was curious about knowing, and Toad sort of brought it up earlier in this demo. It was pertaining to trading capital and being able to use that as income for the Opolis Employment Commons. So like, let's say you had a really good year with trading. Let's say you just swing traded Pepe, right? You put like 1,000 in and turn into 20K, and you use that. Like, let's say you use all of that for your business income. Do you also have to, like, basically, like, since you're using that as business income, do you have to mention that on your personal taxes, or that's not necessary because you're already taxed on it? You use it as business income.
It depends on what type of corporation you have, right? Not tax advice. I'm not a licensed financial person. I only have an insurance license. Get excited. Okay. Depends on what kind of corporation you have, right? Because like S corps are designed for there to be no money carried inside of the corporation year to year. So it all kind of like passes through as ordinary income. Typically, you're going to be running, say, like, let's say you made 150 grand inside of an S corp. You paid yourself 70,000 of it as a salary. You had 20,000 in taxes and benefits, and then you've got like another 60 grand left. You're going to do one of two things with that money as an S corp. You're going to either pay yourself a bonus on Opolis payroll, where you can say, just like run yourself, hey, I'm going to run myself a quarterly bonus of, X thousands of dollars. Or you can honestly do it with each payroll if you wanted to. You could do like monthly, whatever's clever. If you did that, you'd have access to things like paying bonuses into 401ks, crypto 401ks, even ways to have like tax deferred crypto holdings is cool. But it has to leave the corporation. If it's an S corp, like S corps don't carry money into the next year. So you're going to pay out either, via payroll bonus. You're going to go have some kind of expense, maybe you buy a computer. But the other option is, of course, the K1 distribution, and K1 distribution being like a big reason to have an S corp. Essentially, when there's a K1 distribution, there's employer and employee tax on traditional payroll. But when you run it as a K1 distribution, you only have to pay the employer side, and it takes out, 7.25%, 7.75% or something on your taxes. So, if you're sitting here at the end of the year and you have an S corp and you have 60 grand that you got to do something with, you might put some through payroll to drop into a 401k. You will probably pay most of it out to yourself, though, not using our platform, but just, doing your balance sheet with your accountant and paying yourself a K1 distribution, filing that form. On the other hand, if you are a C corp, C corps are entities that can carry money year to year. I'll say that 99% of the people using Opolis have the S corp designation. But some reasons that people use C corps is because you can build money inside of them. Granted, now you have to talk about whatever your state's taxes are on, corporate balance sheet, right? And your tax strategy there. But what's great about being able to carry money inside of your corporation is, one, a retirement strategy, right? Because you're like, oh, sweet, I don't know, I have $1 million worth of GLP, and GLP's paying sick yields, and I'm able to use that to pay my Opolis invoice in perpetuity, right? It's like a retirement strategy. And the other thing that's cool about C corps is C corps can use FSAs, whereas S corps cannot. And FSAs, you can have an FSA and like not have to pay taxes on dependent childcare. We talked about that earlier. If you're buying like a lot of prescriptions or anything, I mean, it can save you like thousands of dollars, right? It's good stuff. That's a lot of download, but I think that's it.
Okay, so basically, all right. So basically, what I want to know is, if I was to trade from, because you mentioned like you even have your own business wallet, right? And
Yeah.
I do too, a Jairus James Consulting wallet. So like, could I just trade from that wallet so I don't trade as a regular individual? I just trade from my business account, and then I could just
Yeah.
treat that as business income. So if I'm treating that as business income, I'm not paying. I wouldn't want to pay income tax and what's the other one? Capital gains. So if I'm paying income tax, do I pay capital gains on it as well? Or that's not necessary?
No, I mean, it depends on the transaction and what happens. Your CPA will help you like notate it, but for the
Mhm.
most part, you're trying to count it as ordinary income so that
Right.
you can just have to pay, payroll taxes or K-1 distribution.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's already possible.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So then if I do treat it like that, and then when I file my personal taxes and I have my W-2, like let's say I didn't trade any crypto from my regular wallet. The only time I
Yeah.
interact with crypto is from my business side. I wouldn't have to report any crypto transactions on my regular personal account if I didn't do any crypto transactions as a regular individual.
Yeah, you got it. Like if you didn't do anything underneath your social security number, then you wouldn't have to file anything there, Now, I mean, you probably already have like a ton of accounts underneath your social security number, but yeah, that's what your personal taxes are about.
Okay, cool. All right, so basically you could trade you could trade from your consulting account, and then from your personal account just report the W-2 income.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, talk to your CPA, but that is how that would work.
Okay, nice. I'll fall in love more and more with Opolis each day. Like the more I understand finance.
Yeah, it really is beautiful. Rachel has up a really beautiful graphic right now. It's the Opolis and the shortest story possible. That Jen Story one. Yeah. I like that one a lot. I think that's more
Oh
and more
yeah,
the
that
reality of
infographic is
people.
great. Yeah, I feel like that sums it up in a pretty simple way, like how you would work and earn through Opolis and how you submit your invoice and everything.
Yeah, that seems pretty simple. Work, invoice, pay the taxes, get paid, get your fees and benefits. It is super complicated when you're diving into it, Toad, and you're talking about different different types of entity. When you get into the tax structures and different tax plans out there, it can get so difficult. But the beauty of this is that it helps make it easy. Another thing that I learned recently when speaking to Rachel, a little bit of just a bit of background. One of the projects we're working on here is Bankless Card, and we want to make working in DAOs easy. So one of the tools that we created was this tool called Taxman, and it essentially it takes your DAO payments and gives you a price in US dollars on the day that you received those tokens, and it exports those as a CSV, and it helps you do your taxes. I mentioned it to Rachel, and it turns out that you actually do full-on automated tax reporting, right? So it reports your federal and state taxes. Is that right?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, like what you have happening is taking care of your quarterly reporting, assuming that you're not carrying like excessive money inside of your corporation. Are you familiar with like the Form 1040?
Not me personally, no. I have not lived in the States since 2001, so I'm not too familiar with tax code
Yeah,
over there.
so what it takes care of for you is if you have a corporation or are self-employed, you're required to do quarterly reporting, which means you're reporting to the government what you believe your tax bill will be, and you're paying that quarter's taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a place of compliance that a ton of business owners are out of compliance. And like, I mean, almost every self-employed person is not doing this. And it delegitimizes their businesses. Like if you go to apply for business credit or a business loan and you look like a rookie, you know, like you don't look as good. Um, and what we're doing by way of doing the payroll and the leasing and the lending of you back to your own corporation is we're collecting that tax and we're remitting it to all the entities on your behalf. And that alone will polish you up so much. It just looks really good. And if you're not carrying like excessive money inside of your corporation, meaning, you know, like you have a couple extra grand in there a month and you're mostly using that for business expenses, it's not like there's any other profits that you should be paying taxes on, then that would fulfill the requirements of doing your quarterly Form 1040. However, at the end of the year, we are not filing your taxes for you. We send you a W-2. You got to do what people do and take that W-2 and go put it in TurboTax or give it to your CPA. Yep. You know, you got to do that.
So easy.
Your business is going to have to do business taxes. You know, it's good to have a CPA. You're going to have to file taxes by March the 15th, you know. Business taxes for your entity, your EIN number will be required, you know, when you go into the next year. So there's going to be different accounting, but we have partnerships and relationships to get those things taken care of. You know, it's definitely professionalizing your freelancing package, like your entire thing just professionalizes your practice. And you know, like from that, you then soon realize there's all of these services that you need to do that really easily. And then you suddenly realize that that's just exactly what Opolis offers. You know, all of these things are kind of like a step or two away, like they're all kind of like a leap. But there's like these layers of abstraction to get to like to it, you know. But it is really just beautiful how well planned it is. I mean, the founders have been in like this space of democratizing employment since like 1995. You know, it took them a long time to come to realize like how to do it. But yeah, it's well thought out. I think it was NF Thinker said earlier that it's hard to like get when you start getting into like these tax structures and whatnot. Yeah, I hear you. You know, we're really trying to be killer at that. The onboarding team will literally get on a call with you and talk to you, and just, you know, meet you where you are and go at it from there. Yeah, it's like a change in lifestyle. It's choosing to just be a more professional freelancer.
It really is. And just to echo what Toad is saying, this is not something that was spun up overnight. One of our founders, John Poller, has been in HR tech for over 20 years and had a company that employed over 40,000 W-2 employees. So that really taught him the ins and outs of compliance, benefits, and HR. So this is definitely not something spun up overnight. A lot of thought, time, and planning has gone into this. And it's just so amazing to see how it's helping people. And shout out to the membership success team. If you guys ever listen to this, they will just join a call with you and become your best friends and answer any questions you have. I can definitely attest to that. Like, they spent, I think, 3 hours on a call with me my first time being onboarded because I had a lot of questions. So they will take the time with you. They will walk you through everything. And yeah, I'm just super grateful to be on this team.
Nice. We have Raj, who's just come up onto the stage. Raj is a contributor here in Bankless DAO and elsewhere at other DAOs that I'm involved with. And if I'm not mistaken, he is based in the US. So Raj, welcome. What's your question?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, thanks for speaking. Thanks for the space. Thanks for the guest pass. And I guess I heard Toad mention CPA a few times, and I was wondering if there were any thoughts on using like AI as a CPA or anything like that.
You know, I don't know. Like, sure, I think that AI can do that. I don't have one that I would recommend. There's something weird about financial products, I think. I think that when we're doing financial products, things like insurance and taxes and benefits, a lot of what we're looking for isn't like words on a screen and knowledge, um, which is what an AI would give you. A lot of what we're looking for is someone who we trust, like to tell us like with empathy what is good for us, right? To kind of just confirm our research, to give us like the old like all-knowing like nod of approval, like yeah, you're heading the right direction, young man, you know? And like that's when it comes to these things, it's like yeah, you can do all the research in the world, but at the end of the day, you're making like this weird decision, you know, and you kind of just want like a consultant to tell you that you're up the right alley, I think. um you get my drift. Like I feel like the AI would just
Absolutely,
give
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
just
no,
feel like
you
sorry, say it.
oh yes, you don't want to like I mean, I'm sure even if you asked like say Chat GPT or something to do your taxes, it would say, I would recommend you go to a professional to do your taxes. Don't, don't use me for your taxes or something like that. But
Exactly, yeah.
maybe down the line, I don't know, TurboTax will be like, hey, we have this AI tax thing now. Yeah, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, cool. Thank you for answering that.
For sure. Yeah, we do have a partnership with some dudes we love. They're called Darian Advisors. Yeah, they're awesome. They're so great. I've learned so much from them. Yeah, so if anyone needed a rec, we got that. We're a community and community services. So I guess that's one of those two things.
Absolutely. And something I'll say for AI where it can be useful for running your own business, something I've leveraged ChatGPT for is actually creating a budget spreadsheet. So just putting in different prompts to create a budget spreadsheet for your business could be really useful. Personally, that's what I've used it for.
Like a profit and loss statement.
So just pretty much creating a budget, like putting in prompts and then filling out basically sections on a Google spreadsheet with different costs.
Nice, nice. Yeah, profit and loss statement, a thing your CPA is going to start asking you for. If you're trying to build better habits, for sure, a thing to build better habits on is that. Just like monthly accounting of what came in and what went out. Um, yeah, it's interesting how like the system, like the old antiquated system, like the tax and insurance system, it's a lot like DeFi. Like there's these apps and widgets, advanced applications that you can just like choose to interact with and, reap the benefits of it. It's just that they're owned by centralized entities.
Yeah, there's just it is funny because DeFi is based on a lot of that. It's based on what works. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't work, and being controlled by a centralized entity seems to be one of those things that does not work. That said, centrality is oftentimes a great solution for certain things. But yeah, I really love what you guys are doing here in Opolis and just helping people and the common misconception when I talk to people about Opolis is that it's for crypto only, and it's not just for crypto users, as you mentioned. It's for any contractor out there, any self-employed person. They can create their own W-2, create their own entity, get paid in fiat cash into their bank, and still take advantage of the health benefits. So
Yeah, that's a really good point to bring up. So like I mentioned in the presentation, we're not specific to the Web3 space. We have people who are working in the health and wellness field, who are mental health workers. So yeah, Opolis is meant for anybody who's an independent worker, aspiring solo entrepreneur, and non-W2 workers.
amazing. Okay, so we've gone way over time. I'm doing another meeting right now, so I'm gonna go hop over to that. And before we go, I just want to ask you guys if you have any last thoughts or comments or anything you'd like to share from the Opolis side.
Honestly, just the links that I shared, if you're looking to become an Opolis member, Feel free to use those links. If you're interested in becoming an ambassador of Opolis, I've also shared the application type form link for that as well. And lastly, I'll just say I really love the Bankless DAO community. I'm super grateful today, NF Thinker, for you welcoming us on, Jarish, James, always for your support, and all the other listeners that joined in today. Thank you, guys.
Beautifully said. Toad, anything from you?
I'm feeling whole and complete. Really appreciate you having us all out to talk about the future of work, and hope to have you on the journey all with us soon.
Beauty. All right, so there's links in the video comments in the description section. So if you're listening to this after the fact, go ahead and check those links out. Become an ambassador, become a member if you can. If you are outside the US and certain provinces within Canada and you're interested in this service that Opolis is offering, reach out to the team, let them know where they should be building for next, because this seems like something that everyone around the world is going to be able to take advantage of, hopefully sooner rather than later. Again, massive thanks to the Opolis team, not just for showing up and giving us this demo, but for everything that you've done with the Bankless DAO community since day one. I remember seeing Opolis in the server from the first community call I was involved in, which was like number 2 or 3. So yeah, Opolis has been a recurring theme around here, and you're really helping out our contributors. Just to finalize, I want to remind everybody this has not been financial or tax advice, even though some of it was some pretty great information regarding how you should be doing your taxes and how you should be setting up your S Corp. That's not advice, it's just general common knowledge that anybody can look up. Go ahead and get engaged with the Opolis team. Ask the questions that you need to know. Get involved with Opolis. Oh, Drost, thank you, sir. You just posted a link to the Portable Benefits podcast as well from Making Bank. And yeah, huge shout out to the Making Bank team. Kitty Slasher is from Opolis, is that?
Yeah. Shout out to Kitty Slasher. He's not here, but he is one of our OG membership success stewards. So definitely highly recommend connecting with Kitty Slasher if you're interested in becoming a member.
Beauty. I'm going to grab that link and add that to the show notes as well. So yeah, on that note, thanks a lot, everybody in attendance in the audience. Thanks for our guests today, and we will see you at the next one.